The mystery of human attraction often lies not in what is said, but in the subtle, unspoken signals that leak through even the most guarded exterior. For many men, the fear of rejection or the desire to maintain a specific social dynamic leads to a complex game of emotional hide and seek. While he may use every ounce of willpower to keep his face stoic and his words platonic, the human brain is biologically hardwired to express interest through a series of subconscious tells. Understanding these 15 hidden signs is like learning a secret language, one that bypasses his conscious control and reveals the true depth of his feelings, whether it is the way his body orients itself toward you in a crowded room or the uncanny way he remembers a passing comment you made months ago. These behaviors are the cracks in his armor that prove you are on his mind more than he cares to admit. Navigating the friend zone or the early stages of a connection can be incredibly confusing when someone is sending mixed signals. You might find yourself questioning your intuition, wondering if his kindness is just politeness or something deeper. However, attraction creates a physiological shift that is nearly impossible to mask entirely. From the spike in adrenaline that causes nervous fidgeting to the surge of dopamine that makes him linger just a second longer during a goodbye, his body is constantly reacting to your presence. These 15 signs focus on the psychological and biological triggers that occur when a man is trying to play it cool. By paying close attention to these patterns, you can stop guessing and start seeing the reality of his intentions. The beauty of these signs is that they are grounded in relationship psychology and evolutionary biology. For instance, the hero instinct or the tendency to mirror. Your movements aren't just random quirks. They are deeply embedded instincts designed to build rapport and demonstrate value. When a man is trying not to show he likes you, he is essentially fighting his own nature. This internal conflict creates a specific type of tension, a magnetic pull that manifests as reasonless text messages or protective posturing in group settings. This introduction serves as your guide to decoding that tension, helping you separate casual friendship from a hidden, burning interest that is simply waiting for the right moment to be revealed. Through these headings, we will explore the subtle art of the unspoken crush and why his silence often speaks the loudest. Subconscious mirroring of body language. Mirroring is a powerful biological phenomenon driven by mirror neurons, which cause a man to subconsciously imitate your posture, gestures, or even your speech patterns when he feels a deep internal connection. When he likes you but is trying to keep it under wraps, his body often betrays his intentions by syncing up with yours. If you lean in, he leans in. If you take a sip of your drink, he reaches for his moments later. This synchronicity is a sign of high empathy and rapport, suggesting that he is in tune with your frequency. He isn't doing this intentionally to manipulate the situation. Rather, his brain is naturally attempting to build a bridge of comfort and familiarity between you. It is one of the most reliable indicators of attraction because it is nearly impossible to fake or suppress consistently, making it a leak in his emotional dam. The glance and guard eye contact pattern. This behavior is a classic tug of war between his desire to look at you and his fear of being caught. You might notice him staring at you from across the room, but the moment your eyes meet his, he quickly looks away or fixes his gaze on a nearby object. This glance and guard tactic shows that he finds you visually captivating, but isn't ready to deal with the vulnerability of a sustained, meaningful stare. By breaking eye contact rapidly, he is attempting to protect his secret feelings and maintain a sense of platonic deniability. However, the frequency of these glances tells the true story. If he weren't interested, he wouldn't feel the need to constantly check your location or monitor your reactions. The brief tension created during those split seconds of accidental eye contact often carries more emotional weight than a standard conversation. Hyper-responsiveness to your physical presence. Even if he is sitting across the room and appearing busy with his phone or a conversation, a man who likes you is acutely aware of your exact coordinates. This hyper-responsiveness manifests as a physical shift. Whenever you enter or move within a space, you might notice his shoulders square up, his posture straighten, or his feet point directly toward you, even if he isn't speaking to you. This is a primal biological response designed to make him appear more impressive or attentive. Furthermore, he might become suddenly more animated or louder in his own conversation to grab your attention indirectly, because he is trying to hide his feelings. He won't walk over to you immediately, but his entire physical orientation acts like a compass pointing toward the person he is most interested in, creating a subtle magnetic pull, intentional memory of minor details. While he might act casual or even slightly distant, his memory will give him away. If he brings up a small comment you made weeks ago, perhaps a specific type of coffee you dislike, or a random childhood story, it proves that he is investing significant mental energy into your interactions. Most people filter out mundane details, but for someone with a hidden crush, every piece of information you share is a treasure to be stored. He uses these details to build a mental map of your personality, likes and dislikes. The fact that he remembers the little things shows a level of focus that goes far beyond friendship. By recalling these specifics, he is indirectly showing care and validation, without having to use the words, "I like you," allowing him to stay within his emotional comfort zone. Protective instincts in group settings. Even when a man is trying to stay undercover, his natural protective instincts often override his logic. In a group setting, you might notice him subtly positioning himself between you and a potential threat, such as a rowdy crowd or someone he perceives as bothersome. He might keep a watchful eye on you to ensure you are comfortable, or he may be the first to notice if you look cold or tired. This isn't necessarily about being alpha, but rather about a deep-seated need to ensure the safety and well-being of someone he prizes. If someone makes a joke at your expense, he might not say anything directly, but his body language will stiffen, or he might redirect the conversation to take the pressure off you. These small, selfless acts of guardianship are loud signals of hidden affection, consistent engagement with your digital presence. In the modern world, a man's digital behavior is often a roadmap to his hidden feelings. If he is trying to hide his attraction in person, he may use social media as a safe bridge to maintain a connection. This manifests as being the first to view your stories, liking posts from months ago, or sending memes that align perfectly with your sense of humor. Even if his comments are brief or low stakes, the consistency of his engagement is the real giveaway. By interacting with your digital life, he is ensuring that he remains on your radar without the immediate pressure of a face-to-face romantic confrontation. It's a way for him to study your interests and daily life from a distance, gathering data that helps him feel closer to you while keeping his public persona cool and collected. Physical proximity without direct contact. You will often find that this man consistently ends up in your orbit without any obvious reason. If you are at a party, he happens to stand at the same table. If you are in a meeting, he chooses the seat just a few chairs away. This is a subconscious drive to be near your energy and scent without crossing the line into physical intimacy. He is testing the waters of your personal space to see how you react to his presence. While he may avoid touching your arm or hand to keep his feelings hidden, he will maximize the time he spends within a 5-foot radius of you. This hovering is a compromise between his intense desire to be close to you and his fear of rejection. If you move, watch if he eventually drifts in your direction. It's rarely a coincidence. Micro adjustments to appearance when you enter. The moment you walk into a room, a man who likes you will undergo a series of preening behaviors. He might smooth his hair, straighten his shirt, or check his reflection in a window. These micro adjustments are instinctive, attempts to look his best for a potential mate. Even if he is trying to act like he doesn't care, his biology is forcing him to present a more polished version of himself. You might also notice him taking up more space, expanding his chest or resting his hands on his hips to appear more masculine and capable. These changes happen in the first few seconds of your arrival and are often completed before he even says hello. It is a silent acknowledgement that your opinion of his appearance matters deeply to him, far more than the opinion of anyone else in the room. The hero instinct response to your problems. When you mention a problem, even something as small as a broken app or a confusing work task, he is the first to offer a solution. This is driven by the hero instinct, a psychological need in many men to feel useful and essential to the woman they admire. While he may not be buying you flowers or confessing his love, he will spend an hour helping you research a new laptop or fixing a squeaky door. By becoming your go-to problem solver, he creates a scenario where he is indispensable to you. It's a safe way for him to show devotion and care under the guise of being helpful or handy. If he treats your minor inconveniences as his own personal missions, he is likely using these tasks to express the romantic dedication he isn't yet ready to put into words. Subtle changes in vocal tone and pitch. Pay close attention. to how he speaks to you compared to how he speaks to his friends or colleagues. When a man is attracted to someone, his voice often undergoes a subtle transformation. For some, the pitch deepens, becoming more resonant and masculine, which is a biological sign of dominance and protection. For others, the tone becomes softer, gentler, and more intimate, signaling a desire to create a private world between the two of you. He might also speak more slowly, hanging on words to extend the conversation. If his voice loses its joking edge and takes on a warmer, more focused quality when he addresses you, it's a sign that he is subconsciously trying to create an emotional bond. This vocal shift is one of the hardest things to mask because it is controlled by the autonomic nervous system. Extended lingering during goodbyes. The way a man handles the end of an interaction is a major leak of his true feelings. If he likes you but is trying to stay undercover, he will struggle with the finality of leaving your presence. You'll notice that he finds one last thing to say, or he stands by his car or the door just a few seconds longer than necessary. This lingering is a physical manifestation of his internal reluctance to let the connection break. He isn't ready to go back to a world where he isn't interacting with you, so he stretches the goodbye to its absolute limit. He might use small talk or a repetitive question to keep the moment alive. Even if he says, "I have to run," his feet stay planted, proving that his desire to stay near you is far stronger than his supposed schedule. Anxious fidgeting or nervous energy. A man who is usually confident and composed may suddenly become restless or clumsy around someone he secretly admires. This nervous energy is a byproduct of the adrenaline and dopamine spike that occurs when he is near you. He might fiddle with his watch, adjust his phone repeatedly, or bounce his leg while sitting. Because he is working so hard to suppress his feelings and act normal, his brain becomes overloaded, leading to these minor physical glitches. He is essentially overthinking his every move to avoid making a mistake, which ironically makes him appear more jittery. If he seems slightly more on edge or physically active when you are in the immediate vicinity, it's a sign that your presence has a profound physiological effect on him that he can't quite manage, finding reasonless excuses to talk. When a man is trying to hide his crush, he often creates logical smokescreens to justify why he is reaching out to you. He might text you to ask a question he could easily find the answer to on Google, or he might bring up a work-related topic just to transition into a casual conversation. These reasonless excuses provide him with a safety net. If you don't seem interested, he can retreat back to the original, mundane reason he contacted you. However, the sheer frequency of these interactions exposes his intent. He is actively looking for any doorway into your day, no matter how small or insignificant the topic. It's his way of maintaining a constant thread of communication, while keeping the just friends label firmly in place to protect his ego. Defensive posturing toward other potential suitors. Watch his reaction when another man enters the conversation or shows interest in you. Even if he claims he is just a friend, his body language will tell a different story. He might physically lean in closer to you, interrupt the other person, or use subtle sarcasm to downplay the other guy's achievements. This is a subtle form of mate guarding, a biological drive to protect a person of interest from competitors. He may not even realize he's doing it, but his protective walls go up instantly. If he becomes unusually quiet, moody, or hyper-competitive when you talk about other men, it's because he feels a sense of possessiveness that he isn't yet authorized to express. His jealousy is a loud admission of the feelings he is trying so hard to hide. Vulnerability, peeking through jokes or sarcasm. A man who is afraid to be direct will often use half jokes to test your reaction. He might make a sarcastic comment about the two of you being a couple, or joke about how much he misses you, followed quickly by a laugh to take the pressure off. This allows him to express his truth under the guise of humor. If you react poorly, he can simply say, "I'm just kidding." It's a classic defense mechanism used to gauge your interest without risking a full-blown rejection. Behind the wit and the teasing lies a genuine desire to see how you feel. If you look closely, these jokes often have a kernel of sincerity, a truth in jest, that reveals his hidden hope that you might actually feel the same way about him.